Help us level the playing field. Sign the parliamentary petition today to fuel the growth and fund the game.
One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The final month of the 2026 Senol NPL Women's Victoria campaign is upon us. It is a month that promises to feature twists and turns, agony and ecstasy, and for Avondale FC and South Melbourne, that journey begins today here at Avenger Park at the Reggio Calabria Club. My name is Joey Lynch. Thank you ever so much for joining us this afternoon on the NPL Victoria YouTube page, no matter where you happen to be it here in Melbourne, Victoria, Australia, or indeed anywhere around the world, as we prepare to settle in for roughly 2 hours or so of cracking football, as Avondale FC entering today sitting fourth on the table, but still with hopes of a breakthrough premiership in their first season in the women's top flight. Very much alive, playing hosts to a South Melbourne side that enter today sitting sixth, the sixth and final spot in the finals on the table, but with their playoff aspirations still very much, well, up in the air and needing to rack up some points across their remaining 4 games to ensure that come finals football, Hellas will be taking part once more. Avondale will be kicking from left to right of your screen in this opening stanza, breaking their huddle, wearing their all blue home strips. South Melbourne, who you just previously saw on screen, in their huddle, kicking from right to left in this opening stanza, wearing their white tops, grey shorts and white socks. Away digs 2 changes for both sides coming into this one. For the hosts, Avondale, 18 Keane is out on A-League Women All-Stars duty. She'll be playing against Chelsea next week in that game. And Taylor Ray failed a fitness test just before kickoff, so she is out. Coming into the side in their stead, Daniela Galuccio, who makes her first start since back in round 16, a 2-1 win over Melbourne Victory, and Cameron Barrero come in. They're joining starters from last week: Brooke Bennett, Isabella Accardo, Elise Cullen-Knight, Sloane Young, Aska Miasa, Beatty Goad, the skipper Gulchan Janetsaris, Ellie Wilson, and Hannah Wilkinson, who is on an absolute tear right now, leading the line. South Melbourne with the opening kickoff. There are 2 changes. Well, Danny Micallef, after starting last week, she's announced her retirement, so she is an out. Sophie Papatsanis, meanwhile, she has moved to the bench for today's game in their stead. Grace Taranto, who wasn't present last week, in their last game, a fortnight ago. The league broke for a week due to the Nike FC Cup final. Grace Taranto is back into the side after missing their game against Bulleen, 2-1 defeat. And Clancy Westaway has moved from the bench to the starting lineup. We'll bring you the other 9 players in a moment. A South early sight on goal from Emily Collier. Decent effort too, but it just curls itself wide of that near post. In goal for South Melbourne, they've got Gio Candy in front of them, Isabella Wallhead, Francesca Yamano, Alana Byrne, the aforementioned Taranto, Nisha Westlands, Alexis Pantazopoulos, the youngster. A few youngsters in this side: Michaela Schmelzer, Emily Roach, the aforementioned Collier, and the aforementioned Westaway. So early territory to the advantage of the visitors. Already 1 shot on goal as they try to make a good start. Somewhat in different form for South Melbourne. Just 1 win in their last 5 games heading in. That one, a 1-0 win over Spring Hills back in round 20. Avondale, meanwhile, well, it's not just Hannah Wilkinson on a tear, it's the entire club. 7-game winning run coming into this. As the offside flag goes up to snuff out that South Melbourne attack. 7-game winning run for Avondale coming in, and their last 3 games, all wins with clean sheets, whilst scoring 10 goals themselves. South again, though, well, on that occasion, Pantazopoulos had the ball sit up somewhat promisingly for her. Couldn't lash out on the half volley. Yet again, territory continues to be to the advantage of South Melbourne. Yamano trying to dig it out, couldn't do so. Cambarero comes away with it. Wanted Wilkinson up front, couldn't get it to her. South Melbourne now win themselves a free kick in a promising position. So Avondale really not able to get their foot on the ball in these opening 3 minutes. Now they'll have to defend a free kick. Players assemble on the edge of the penalty area. The ball is swung in by Roach, but far too close to Brooke Bennett, who gets underneath it and makes the claim. One game of the Senol NPL Women's Victoria Round 23 already played. That was last night, Preston with a 2-0 win over Melbourne City. Plenty of action around the grounds today, which we'll update you on throughout this contest. Some other games with big ramifications too. But this one, as talked about, Avondale probably really needing 3 points if they are to retain what are maybe somewhat long hopes of claiming the premiership, as Janet Saros gets a touch. Not the best clearing pass though. Goad is bundled over. The ball's slotted through, intended for Pantazopoulos, sets her a task, and she's going to give away what looks to be a free kick in the process. Avondale can move to within 3 points of top of the table Box Hill with a win today and a Bulleen win over Box Hill later this afternoon. If that scenario occurs and Essendon also get a win, Essendon will move level on points with Box Hill. As mentioned, it's very tight. Meanwhile, South Melbourne, realistically, they can't fall from the top 6 today thanks to goal difference, but they will be level with 7th placed Alamein if they lose, and Alamein pick up a win over 5th placed Boroondara. South, meanwhile, are 1 point back of Boroondara. 5 of Avondale in 4th. As Taranto goes chasing that one. Just has to watch it roll over the line for an Avondale throw-in. Ricardo. Wilson somehow gets to Young on the flank. They've coughed the ball up once more, have Avondale. But won it back, and now maybe they could move up the pitch. So much Yamano. Guerrero gets it out to Goad. Kellen Knight battling for it. Loses her footing, but has a teammate there who just is going to boot it long. And Wilkinson was drop in, so it's a comfortable collection for Candy. And they they will reset the play for South. Yamano around the corner to Taranto. Dozopoulos waits in the middle. Taranto charged down by Ocado to battle for it by the corner flag. We'll end up with a goal kick for the hosts, Avondale. Bennett. Long, booming goal kick towards the halfway line. Got away from Kellen Knight and Taranto. Barrero's attempt to keep it in, not the most successful of efforts. And South will keep the ball in Avondale's side of the pitch. Other games taking place across today, mentioned a few of them. Alamein against Boroondara. Essendon playing host to the Bentley Greens. Bulleen against Box Hill. The games this round's back in action after the week off for the Nike FC Cup, won by Essendon. Melbourne victory up against Spring Hills. Keilor against Heidelberg United. Goad, nice turn to take herself away from her marker in the form of Roach. Left the ball behind on that occasion though, and Clancy Westerway in to steal it away. Just a momentary lapse of possession for Avondale though as they get it back. Kellen Knight across to Asker Miasa. Sloan Young inside to Kellen Knight. Kellen Knight's intended return pass just got away from her a tad. Lucio lost the ball. But getting back to clean up was Ocado. Receives a return ball from Bennett. So Avondale not quite clicking into gear when they try to transition into attack, but for now repulsing South Melbourne, who probably haven't been as clean with their control of territory as they would have hoped for across these opening 10 minutes. So many big-time players out for South Melbourne, the likes of Annabelle Haffenden, Calderalis, TJ Vlanic not playing, minus Ernest Wilkinson. Almost through for a first sight on goal of the game for Hannah Wilkinson. Forces South Melbourne to scramble and get the ball away for an Avondale corner. Wilkinson, she has been absolutely lethal as of late. She's sitting on 19 goals for the campaign, second in the Golden Boot behind runaway leader Kelly McGrorty of Essendon. She's got 11 goals in her last 8 games. Goals in 8 straight games for the Kiwi international. As the ball comes in towards the back post, looking for Wilkinson. Couldn't make contact, and South will boot it clear. Barrero. Avondale looking to reset, keep the pressure on. Ellie Wilson. Kellen Knight. Ignored the Wilson overlap and had the ball taken away from her by Yamano. That's a good turn of pace from Emily Collier to get away from the sliding challenge, but the result, the subsequent pass, not what she would have hoped for. And it will go back to Avondale. Wilson, central to Young. Wilkinson. Back to Wilson. Nyasa. Dinking the ball over the top, looking for Young. Gio Candy, they came out, and probably not as decisive as they could have been, but collected before Young arrived, and South will see off that threat. How long, though? Candy, bit of a hospital pass out. And Avondale are going to take it back, but I guess, fortunately for South Melbourne, they'll take it back closer to the halfway line than their own penalty area. Goad. Kellen Knight. Forced to retreat from goal. And was swarmed by a couple of South Melbourne players, forcing the turnover. Pantazopoulos shielding the ball and turning well. Now it's a 3-on-2 situation if they can stay on side. It was the question, and it was answered by the assistant raising his flag over on that far side. And now Avondale enjoying a period of control, coming forward again. Goad. Could she keep it in? No. Forward in the Yamano direction. Wilson pokes it clear. Galuccio. South Melbourne come forward once more. Emily Roach for the run of her skipper, Yamano. Yamano stood up by her opposing skipper, Janet Cyrus. Tried to just poke it in with the outside of her boot. And that's going to be deflected clear for a South Melbourne corner. So an opening 10 minutes in which South Melbourne had the best of things, but aside from really that first minute opportunity, didn't create much. Avondale answering back across these last five, but now South Melbourne. Set piece opportunity to reclaim momentum and potentially claim the lead. Ball swung into the top of the 6-yard box. Bennett flew and was taken out, and in doing so was fouled, which meant that Grace Taranto's rather spectacular looking bicycle kick attempt would not have counted had she been able to direct it goalward. Offside sees South Melbourne get the ball back. Initially thoughts of a throw-in, but the South Melbourne dugout ensuring that the referee noted their assistance flag was raised. Grace Taranto sends it long. It's going to get cleaned up by Avondale. Oh, it's going to bounce all the way through from Bennett to Goad. Wilkinson and Young arriving in the penalty area. Goad looking for Wilkinson. Goes back to get it. Turns, shoots, flashes it wide. Kendi watching it all the way. Remarkable turn of fortune for the Avondale winger. Watching Brooke Bennett's clearing ball, skittling two defenders, and giving her the chance to dash forward. And Wilkinson just the core strength to swivel and still get a decent looking shot on goal as she was moving away from it. There's Aska Miata. Sends it out to this attacking right flank. Sloane Young, the American, started every game since coming off the bench in round 1. That appearance off the bench likely just coming because she was pretty much just off a plane at that point. A season opening defeat to Alamein. Six defeats on the campaign for Avondale. Significantly more than they're used to, given their incredible run up the pyramid in recent years, but still in with a chance of silverware this season, be it an outside one for the Premiership or the Championship when the finals start, and they'll very much fancy their chances in those games. You look at the talent assembled. As the ball will go to South Melbourne for another offside. Some mistimed runs haunting both of these teams across the opening exchanges. Just ticked over into the 20th minute here on the scoreboard here at Avenger Park at the Reggio Calabria Club. 19 minutes gone. Avondale 0, South Melbourne 0. Collier gets us started once more. Her 17th start on the campaign. In and out of the 11 across the past month. 2 starts, 2 bench appearances. This her 3rd start in that run. Miata brought down as she attempted to turn. Miata, another one of these figures who's been largely ever present for Avondale across the campaign. 21 starts in 22 appearances. Needing going again, given something to chase on the left. Barrero tried to get things going quickly with a throw in, nothing on, and then forced to take it slightly closer to where it bounced out. Can this one be kept in by South Melbourne? They can. Clancy Westaway trying to thread the eye of a needle, looking for Alexis Pantazopoulos. Just couldn't find an avenue through to the attacker. Wilson shook off the attention of her marker in the form of Roach, but no players in blue in the vicinity of where the subsequent pass went. There was encouragement for Roach to turn there. Instead, she went backwards to find Alana Byrne. That's a lovely looking ball. Good work from Schmelzer under pressure there, and South Melbourne trying to do what they can to move up the pitch, but Avondale doing a good job of closing down. And that's going to get away from both Hannah Wilkinson and Michaela Schmelzer, but the latter at least can watch the ball roll through to Gio Candy. Pantazopoulos, attempted first time ball around the corner for Yamano. Seized upon by Accardo. The most convincing of clearances. Clancy Westaway there. Winning it back for South Melbourne, who tried to get something going at the top of the box. But falling as she shot was Westaway. Took a deflection as well and rolled harmlessly through. Wilson had to get that one going quickly to Kellen Knight as the ball poked away from her. Schmelzer put the ball behind the intended recipient, Pantazopoulos. Janet Saras gratefully takes it away. Good idea there from Barrero just to massage it around the corner for Goad, but couldn't connect with the former Matilda. Fourth. Roach comes up with it for South Melbourne. West away to Yamano. Zopoulos. West away, Roach. Sends it out to Taranto on the right. Whipped in towards the back post, but only Collier wasn't crashing the back post, instead standing back, waiting for the ball to spill out. Just a judgment call, really. Seen both of those scenarios happen in the past. On that occasion, the ball straying away from her and Avondale reclaim it. Well, Bennett caught in two minds there, and now she's going to get pressed. Booting it clear. Taranto gets in the road. Kellen Knight. The side of her boot through it, lofts it out. Beatty Goad in no mood to muck about, put the ball exactly where it needs to be for South Melbourne to get us going once more, who don't share her urgency to get us going leisurely before the throw-in, which immediately goes back to Avondale. Oh, Alexis Pantazopoulos showing great intensity and intent. And it's a red card for Gulcan Janitsaris. Denial of a clear goal scoring opportunity is the decision from the official. And something from nothing. Alexis Pantazopoulos, the 17-year-old, whipping across to put the Avondale veteran under duress, dragged down in the aftermath, and in doing so secures her side a one-player advantage for 65 minutes of football, to say nothing of what is a fabulous opportunity to whip a free kick in on goal just outside the penalty area. You've got Misha Westland standing over it, Emily Roach as well, Clancy Westaway in the vicinity if they opt to square at central. But can a moment that was bad for Avondale get made infinitely worse by South Melbourne? Misha Westland, eye on goal, dinking it just over the crossbar. Bennett was flying, maybe getting a hand to it if it's just floating underneath the crossbar. But nonetheless, some damage, a bruise left on Avondale nonetheless. Reduced to 10. And skipper Gulcan Janitsaris receives her marching orders. Straight red card for the Dogso. Denial of a clear goal scoring opportunity. And can South Melbourne, in search of what would be a gigantic 3 points in their quest to play finals football, take advantage across this next hour and a bit? They'll have another free kick here, this time for a handball. South Melbourne really getting numbers forward now, and they're going to get themselves a free kick. By their skipper Yamano. There were maybe thoughts about taking it quickly. Instead, South will use the opportunity to get the tall timber forward. Michaela Schmelzer in there. High ball, dinked in. Taranto was lurking, Grace Taranto, but it's claimed by Brooke Bennett. Ellie Wilson going on a solo run, taking it away from one defender before two others corral her. Force her backwards. Ricardo to Barrero. Beatty Goad. Maybe now dropping back into a left back position. As Barrero shifts central. All sends in towards Sloane Young. South clear the danger away. And then Wilson feints the ball getting whipped back in, and instead will content herself and content Avondale with a throw. Justin Micallef up and about in his technical area, barking instructions. He'll smell blood, no doubt. The Hellas coach. Goad surveyed the scene in front of her, decided Barrero was the better option. She sends it to Miata, two former Heidelberg players, now wearing the blue of Avondale. And that's where the attack ends. Taranto knocks it forward. Pantazopoulos trying to run onto it, but Accardo kept her head. Flag goes up. Young coming back from an offside position. And our coach, Del Donnelly, giving some instructions to Hannah Wilkinson. As South Melbourne come up the other ends. Roach combining with Collier. Top of the box, Clancy West away, heavy touch. So Isabella Ricardo come up with it. Big sliding challenge there. No whistle. Grace Taranto. Brought down by Galluccio, but the advantage, the attempt to play advantage, I should say, was there before it rapidly dissipated. And it'll be another free kick for South Melbourne in a promising position. This one not quite clear a goal-scoring opportunity by the corner of the penalty area, but you can see there players getting forward. Kayla Schmelzer up from centre back. Decent height on her. Pantazopoulos whips the ball in. Schmelzer's there, glancing header. And it's not going to count because the run came from an offside position. So, be it an offside trap or over-exuberance from South Melbourne, they have the ball in the back of the net, only to be denied from the flag from a free kick. It may be, in hindsight, an offside flag, helping to explain just how much there was that much space for South Melbourne to exploit near the 6-yard box. Still, plenty of excitement, plenty of talking points beginning to emerge from this game after the half-an-hour mark, even as we await one of these two sides to provide us with an opening goal. It's Bella Ricardo wearing the armbands now in the absence of her centre-back partner, well, former centre-back partner, Gulcan Janetsaris. Dismissed for a dog sow on Alexis Pantazopoulos. Now got Danny Galluccio dropping in to serve as the other centre-back during this exchange. Sloane Young working against a couple of South Melbourne players, had a body put into her by Emily Collier. South Melbourne deep on their defensive left flank, clear it away. Accardo header goes central. Galluccio keeps the play going to Barrero. Meanwhile, with half an hour gone around the grounds, score update, spoiler warning. Still scoreless out at Alamein versus Boroondara in that contest. 32 minutes gone, 3 goals scored out at Essendon Royals versus the Bentley Greens. It's Essendon coming off their Nike FC Cup final win, who have a 2-1 lead over the Greens. Sofa score not telling me the goal scorers, but one imagines that Kelly McGrorty, probably amongst them, came into this round with 27 goals on the campaign, going at a rate of more than one a game. Hannah Wilkinson second on those charts with 19, so she'd need 4 today to bring herself up to a 1 a game average. Miata got clipped and stumbled and earns the free kick. Beatty Goad direct in traffic, opts to keep it along the turf, which just enabled Misha Westland to nip in, claim it away. Goad tried to play it backwards, finds herself surrounded, but the skill of Beatty Goad ensures that she'll skip away with the ball, finding Miata. Players waiting and arriving over the head of Wilkinson. Kellen Knight had it set up for her on her right foot. But was not able to get a shot away, did enough to ensure that the throw went to Avondale's advantage. Young turning before she can dart inside. Alana Byrne putting the challenge in. And Avondale down to 10 players will have themselves a set piece opportunity. It'll be an in-swinging left-footed delivery from Elise Kellen-Knight. Fans that remember back to 2019 will no doubt have some fond memories of those deliveries, and it's gonna look at that. Speak of the Olympico and it will appear. Elise Kellen-Knight, direct from a corner, has put 10-player Avondale in the lead. Class indeed is irrepressible. And Elise Kellen-Knight, from down there by the freeway at Avenger Park, has put Avondale into the ascendancy. So the score now at Avenger Park at the Reggio Calabria Club. 36 minutes gone. Avondale 1, South Melbourne 0. Now, if you are South Melbourne, the big question for South Melbourne is how do they respond? They had the one-player advantage. They were playing some decent stuff, putting Avondale under some pressure, but bang, one set piece, one Elise Kellen-Knight Olympico later, and they find themselves down 1-0. How do they respond? Do they immediately counter-punch, get back into this game? Or do they fade away? We'll find out. And Bennett playing a little bit of silly buggers, picking it up. So Bennett, not afraid to take some time to think when she has the ball at her feet. That South Melbourne attack snuffed out. So, in lieu of all this, what does the live ladder look like? Well, with Box Hill's big-time clash with Bulleen to kick off at 4 p.m, as I'll keep you in suspense and turn our attention to Sloane Young bringing the ball into the penalty area, trying to slide it across for Wilkinson. South Melbourne not allowing that one to go out. Not after they just fell behind to an Elise Kellenight Olympico. Well, on the live ladder now, with Box Hill and Bulleen to kick off in about 20 minutes, Essendon, by virtue of what is currently a winning margin against the Bentley Greens, have gone to the top of the Senol NPL Women's Victoria table on goal difference, sitting on 50 points. So that puts the pressure on Box Hill to pick up something from their visit to the Veneto Club if they want to remain on top. And meanwhile, Avondale, on the live ladder with this 1-0 lead, have jumped up to third, sitting on 47 points, ahead of FC Bulleen Lions 46, and putting the pressure on Coach Caitlin Friend's Lionesses to take something from their home stand against Pythagoras. So we'll keep you updated throughout the afternoon on all the shifting sands that is the Senol NPL Women's Victoria top four. Byrne gets the ball central. Westaway did well to find Misha Westland before she was sent to the turf. And the turnover, giving the ball to Galluccio. Young can't hold on to it. Galluccio heading it back from whence it came, but it's going to bounce all the way through to Gio Candy. Well, South Melbourne, so we approached the halftime break, down a goal, no doubt disappointed, but no reason you would think just yet to drop their heads. Yes, they're in a deficit, but they still have that one player advantage. They'll have that the rest of the game regardless. Well, not regardless, they could get somebody sent off, I guess, but that's not... Janet Saras isn't going to come back on the park, so still with plenty to play for across the remaining minutes of this opening stanza, plus the second half. Plenty of time for them to fashion a comeback. Indeed, one only needs to look back at the last time these two sides met to know that that is possible. That one, Avondale led from the 13th minute thanks to a Hannah Wilkinson goal right up until the 89th minute, when Alana Byrne netted an equaliser for Avondale, and then 2 minutes later in the 91st, Heidi Dalton popped up with a South Melbourne winner. That game earlier in the campaign, maybe giving South Melbourne reason to hope. Indeed, Avondale never actually got a win over South Melbourne, albeit it's not the longest of rivalries, just the two times these two have met. An aforementioned league meeting earlier this year and a Nike FC Cup clash last year. Both games have finished with 2-1 South Melbourne wins. Galluccio, outside of the boot pass, trying to keep it in for Wilkinson. Succeeds in that endeavour. Wilkinson's pass back to the holding midfielder. Not the best, but Avondale nonetheless kept the ball. Barrero. Goad. Kellen Knight. Goad poked it away to Wilkinson. You can see how deep Wilkinson is dropping. Harry Kane-esque. Roach was absolutely cleaned up in that exchange, poking the ball away and then made to pay for it by Daniela Galuccio. And another free kick inbound for South Melbourne. They've had a few. Alexis Pantazopoulos standing over this one. Received some advice, some instruction from Misha Westlands before the latter walked away, giving the teenager exclusive rights to take this one. And, well, putting the ball in an area close to goal, but an area that no South Melbourne players were making a run to. So, not the most memorable of set-piece routines. And it'll be a goal kick for Avondale. Oh, and well. Updates from around the grounds just before half-time. Over out there in Essendon, and the Bentley Greens have equalised just before half-time. So, a goal for the Greens that sends Box Hill back to the top of the live ladder and moves Essendon back down to second, just 1 point clear of Avondale, who would move to 47 points with a win today. So I told you there would be twists and turns. And a fresh one coming through from Cross Keys Reserve. Remains scoreless meanwhile out there at Alamein versus Burundara. This one at halftime at Avenger Park at the Reggio Calabria Club, however, sees the hosts Avondale, thanks to the veteran presence of Elise Keller-Knight, take a 1-0 lead into the dressing room. The former Matildas Centurion with an Olympico to put her side ahead after they were reduced to 10 when Gulcan Janitsaris saw red for denial of a clear goal-scoring opportunity to Alexis Pantazopoulos. So there's been talking points. South Melbourne disallowed goal for offside as well amidst these opening 45 minutes of what has been a game which has had flashes, had moments of entertainment, bubbling away, threatening to break out into something very special in this second half to come. That will begin in about 15 minutes or so here on the NPL Victoria YouTube page. I'll join you on the other side of that break for more action from the Senol NPL Women's Victoria. Welcome back, one and all, to live coverage of the 2026 Senol NPL Women's Victoria season. And welcome back to the second half of this big-time round 23 clash here at Avenger Park at the Regione Calabria Club between Avondale FC up against South Melbourne. And if you are just joining us here on the broadcast, you join with the hosts, Avondale FC, down a player thanks to Gulchan Janitsaris' red card in the opening half, but up a goal thanks to Elise Keller-Knight's Olympico, whipped in from the right, beating Gio Candy and putting the Avengers into the ascendancy and keeping their perhaps somewhat remote but still alive hopes of a NPLW Victoria Premiership alive. My name is Joey Lynch. Thank you ever so much for joining us for this second 45 minutes on the NPL Victoria YouTube page, no matter where you happen to be, Melbourne, Victoria, Australia, or indeed anywhere around the world. It's going to be Avondale getting us underway in this second half, kicking from right to left of your screen, wearing their all blue strips. South Melbourne FC kicking from left to right of your screen in this second half, wearing their white away shirts, the grey shorts and the white top. We've also had a substitution at half-time. Looking at the fourth officials board, Alana Byrne making way for Daniela Squatrito. So coach Justin Micallef, as his side attempt to not only overturn this halftime deficit, but also surge forward in their hopes of playing finals football, entering today 6th on the NPL Women's Victoria table. The coach shuffling his deck and trying to get his side to take advantage of their one-player numerical advantage. And, well, an early opportunity here from a corner. So all hands on deck for Avondale to defend. Anna Wilkinson, the tallest player out there on the penalty area, defending. And it's going to go straight to her, but she can't get a head on it. Beatty Goad will give chase, attempting to clear. Closed down by Isabella Woolhead. And in the end, it will go out. For an Avondale goal kick. So we've seen Daniela Squadrito come on for South Melbourne. Has been featured on the bench in the last few games and once again entering the fray. Is an out-and-out goal scorer at junior levels. She's got 15 under-20 goals this campaign in 17 starts. Had 19 goals for the under-17s last year, so definitely a player who has shown they know where the goal is at a junior level for South Melbourne. You can see there that she's immediately slotted in at the tip of Hellas's spear. Meanwhile, Goad getting it to Wilkinson. Barrero now. South trying to close down the angles and successfully forcing the wayward pass. Clancy Westaway just floating something towards the top of the box, headed clear, only as far as Emily Roach. Roach has time to look up, not actively being closed down, but she sent the pass straight into Yamano. Appeals for a handball, waved off, and then Daniela Squadrito will win her side a corner kick. So from the same position that Keller-Knight bents a delivery inside the far post, Misha Westland will deliver something for South, albeit on the right. So no Olympico repeats. To the top of the 6-yard box. Players fly. Bounced off Hannah Wilkinson. Subsequently moved out there to close down Collier. Collier looking to combine there with Misha Westland. Bundled into by Kellen Knight. Bent around and then Bennett had to scramble. The danger's not fully cleared though. Yamano's cut back. Pantazopoulos now onto the right boot. Picked out by Cambarero. Whipped in now towards the top of the 6-yard box. Players arriving but beating all of them. And it's going to be a goal kick. South have made a further change as well. Sophie Papatsanis, who started last week, has come on at right back. You can see her there making the overlapping run. The ball instead goes to Yamano. Scoots through. Wilkinson laid it off for Kellen Knight, who sends the ball high in the direction of both Young and Wilson. Neither can get it. Alexis Pantazopoulos stood up by Ocado, so she squares it to the top of the box. Westland lays it off. South Melbourne nibbling around the edges. Only to be, well, sent back to defend by the assistant's flag. So 5 minutes into this second half, no goals. We do have another goal from out at Cross Keys Reserve. And at Essendon have scored to go back ahead 3-2. And to move back atop the table on that live ladder. Meanwhile, out at Alamein, Burundara have scored in the first minute of the second half to put themselves ahead. 7 minutes meanwhile into the showdown between Bulleen and Box Hill. No goals at the Veneto Club. 1-0 in this game to Avondale. So on the live ladder, as it stands, Burundara moving on to 43 points. That would take them 4 clear of South Melbourne on the table if these results hold. Scorito trying to just whip it around the corner on that left foot, couldn't do so. Turnover, Yamano, closed down by Goad, poked clear by the defender. Grabbed at the top of the box by South Melbourne again, Roach. Twisting one way and then the other before laying it off. Clancy Westaway keeps the ball moving. Delivery in by Papatsanis, couldn't beat the defender. South can grab it back once more. One player advantage, giving them just the edge when it comes to these loose balls and the like, but they've coughed it up. And one imagines that as this game progresses and as South Melbourne, well, they're going to go hunting for it. They sort of have to, given the way that the table looks like, but that maybe gives Avondale opportunities in transition for the likes of Sloane Young, who on this occasion, though, unable to time her run correctly. South Melbourne, they will have to keep their eyes on where Sloane Young and Hannah Wilkinson are at all times. Avondale have scored 56 goals now on the campaign. Wilkinson and Young have 34 of them. Elise Keller-Knight, meanwhile, moving into sole possession of third place on the Avengers goal-scoring ranks, with what was her fifth of the campaign with that Olympico. Young, ball over the top. Wilkinson, it won't matter if she's able to hunt that one down because she was offside. Indeed, Avondale, they've scored more goals than South Melbourne this campaign. It's by 13 now, but it has been much more centred on fewer producers, mainly Young and Wilkinson. 8 individual goal scorers on the season for Avondale, 13 for South Melbourne. Their leading scorers, Heidi Dalton and Francesca Yamano, with 6 apiece. Ball whipped in, there is Wilkinson. Header, forcing a fantastic save from Gio Candy. Getting across, they had to leap up and quickly palm that one away, and they did so with aplomb. Had that chance in the opening half on the turn that Hannah Wilkinson, but that definitely her best chance of this game. But the danger not cleared for South Melbourne, because they'll now have to prepare to defend another in-swinging corner. This one's set to be taken by Aska Miata. Did Ocado take a shortcut behind the goals there? I think that's what she got in trouble for, as the ball is whipped in. Couldn't beat Yamano at the near post, and that's going to be a free kick. Potentially a booking for Ocado, yes. Isabella Ocado brings down her opponent. And receives a caution. My apologies, it was Emily Collier she brought down, not Francesca Yamano. Batsanis sends it central. Westlands to Roach. Working the ball from right to left is South Melbourne. Only then for Emily Collier. Well, maybe there was an opponent coming, but still, rather poor pass to just send it into touch. Wilson didn't get all the throw in. South Melbourne approaching the Avondale goal once more. Panzazopoulos out to Yamano. Stood up by Beattie Goad. Just poked it centrally to an area that she was hoping a teammate would be, but none there. Papatsanis with the throw. Kellen Knight getting across in front of Yamano. Beattie Goad, the defensive header. Patsanis just dink it and lay it off for Clancy Westaway, but coming through once again, Avondale with the challenge, forcing South Melbourne to content themselves with these throw-ins on their attacking right flank. South will finally be able to get out of here with a free kick. Who's going to take it? Someone has to. In the end, it will be Misha Westland running across. So Westland, the arm goes up, the delivery is a poor one. Low along the ground, couldn't beat Kellen Knight, the first defender. Now Avondale. And they clear their lines. And see what they're mostly attempting to do now with the combination of this 1-goal lead and one player disadvantage. Just getting numbers back behind the ball and then having one of Young and Wilkinson sitting on the shoulder of the last defender, trying to time their runs to get in behind. Hasn't worked out yet, the offside flag coming up numerous times as they attempted to spring forth, but, well, an hour gone with a 1-goal advantage already. Second one would represent a devastating blow to South Melbourne. An equaliser, meanwhile, would certainly put the cat amongst the pigeons for not just South Melbourne as they try to shore up finals positioning, but that battle between the top four, which isn't just a race for the premiership, of course, but also jostling for seeding come the finals. First and second will get a week off, guarantee themselves a home semi-final. Third place, meanwhile, will host 6th in the first week. Fourth will host 5th. No further goals to report since our last around the grounds. Boroondara continue to lead Alamein. Essendon still 3-2 over the Bentley Greens, and Bulleen and Box Hill still scoreless after the opening 15 minutes at the Veneto Club. Misha Westland now trying to chase it down. Was hoping to go central rather than shoot, but couldn't just get a boot on it. Wilson clears it away. Wilkinson giving chase. Schmalzer got there just before she arrived, but her attempted pass under duress and being tackled. So both sides have their benches up and warming up as this ball is sent long and then headed out for a throw-in. Avondale have Asia Claridge, Georgia Traynor, Alana Bogas, Olivia McLaughlin and Cedar Howie as outfielders available. Kayla Zarkos is the backup. That'll be a South Melbourne ball. We've seen a couple of changes already from South Melbourne, but they've still got Kiara Chronopoulos, Sophie Wenk and Heidi Dalton as further outfield options to bring on. Sophie Jackson is the backup keeper. And both groups of players now making their way back to the dugouts, so we'll see if we've got any further changes to come. Does look as though South Melbourne potentially going to be the ones to act first. Meanwhile, this free kick to the top of the box, just nodded onwards by Accardo, but Sloane Young not in a position to pounce on it. Wilkinson, deft touch to bring it down. Subsequent pass nowhere near as deft. It's going to be Atta just trying to chest it forward. South come up with it, but for how long? That's surely a free kick, and it is. Escamiata brought down. Avondale dugout wants a yellow card. Instead, we're going to get a yellow card flashed up to Ellie Wilson. So obviously something has happened beyond our vision to see Ellie Wilson fall afoul of the referee, earn herself a booking. But not enough to overturn this free kick as Kellen Knight's delivery. Just the way it flew flatly through on goal and forced Gio Candy to react. Getting across to their right. Bennett closed down by Squadrito. Guerrero's attempt to head the ball clear, not the best, but not relevant in the end as the flag had gone up once more. A lot of offsides today for both sides. Meanwhile, we do have an update from around the grounds, and it is a big one. From over there at the Veneto Club, FC Bulleen Lions have taken a 1-0 lead over Box Hill United. Striking in the 17th minute. So our defending champions and top of the table heading into the round, Box Hill down a goal. Deficit that sees the Essendon Royals atop the table on the live ladder, and them now sitting just a point clear of Bulleen and just 3 clear of Avondale on the live ladder. So a lot of football to be played, but results as they stand, South Melbourne having an appeals for a handball waved away, results as they stand making what was a tight Premier's Plate race all the more tighter. Can South Melbourne relieve some of the pressure for the other 3 sides and get an equaliser in our remaining 24 or so minutes of regulation plus stoppage time? They've got the 1-player advantage, and they've got the ball down. The Avengers side of the park, Brooke Bennett set to take this goal kick. And another change, as we speculated, being prepared by Hellas. Chiara Chronopoulos preparing to enter the fray. 20th senior team sheet appearance on the campaign today for Chiara Chronopoulos, just the 1 start. Coming back in round 11, 0-0 draw with Keilor. The South Melbourne junior preparing to enter this game with it in the balance. Avondale, 1-0. Ball hurled forward. Pantazopoulos went to ground. Play on was the call. Headed away by Isabella Wallhead before Young could pounce. Miata, lovely footwork from Asker Miata, but a good recovery run from Collier. And a lovely little turn there from Michaela Schmelzer. South Melbourne bursting forward with a bit of intent. Player went to ground behind play. Pantazopoulos was pushed in the back. She went to ground, and that'll be a free kick. Alexis Pantazopoulos, she created the red card for Janet Cyrus with her pressing in the opening stanza. poking the ball away and then being dragged down as she attempted to pounce on it in the penalty area. Keller Knight goes into the book as she was brought down for bringing down Pantazopoulos as the teenager streaked away from her. And indeed, Alexis Pantazopoulos, she's just 17 years old, but such an exciting player. See the intent that she displays on and off the ball with her running. There's 5 goals on the campaign. Scoring back in round 20 to get the winner against Spring Hills. As Westland takes this free kick, sending it to Westerway. Maybe a bit too much on it. Westerway did enough, recovered it enough to send the ball in and have it ricochet back out for a corner. And Chronopoulos continues to await her summons. Believe she'll be coming on for Emily Roach. Has to wait for this delivery. Ball spills out towards the back. South Melbourne just able to pounce on the ball. Whips back in. Schmelzer makes the run. Unable to get on the end of it before it's claimed by Brooke Bennett. One would have to now think that Chronopoulos will be able to enter at our next stoppage, assuming it's maybe not another corner. Ball ricochets away from Wilkinson. Westland sends it forward. Roach. Touch over Wilkinson and then away from Miasa. Papatsanis. Not as clean with it. Miasa continues to lurk. Tight areas right in front of our camera position. Yamano battling Goad. Goad sees off the challenge. Young. Didn't quite have the angle to send the ball to Wilson first time. Wilson, the intended recipient of that pass, but it was nowhere near her. Pantazopoulos again running with it into the penalty area. Alexis Pantazopoulos had a shot charged down by Wilson. Roach. Goad intercepts and then turns it over to Papatsanis. Clancy Westerway. Back to Papatsanis. Sloane Young got a boot in before it could get to Westland cleanly. Goad will try to just shepherd this one out for a goal kick. Kept in for sent out for a throw-in instead, and that will see Chronopoulos come on after rather a breakneck exchange of play, and confirmation as well that it will be Emily Roach making way for Chronopoulos. So it's another throw-in. Keller Knight thought she'd won a goal kick. South Melbourne numbers in the area. It will be an Avondale throw-in. And again, you can just see the wall of white shirts being erected around these throw-ins to try to win the ball back quickly, keep the ball in Avondale territory. Sloane Young will carry it into South Melbourne's. Not too deeply though. Before she's challenged, ball whips back. Squatrito trying to get on the end of that one. Cambarero there to boot the ball out for a throw-in. It's attacking right flank. You can just maybe begin to feel the air, an air of desperation, intensity beginning to rise in South Melbourne as we approach the final 15 minutes of this encounter. Down a goal. Ball whipped in. Pantazopoulos found space, but not clean with her attempt. And that will set the scene for Avondale to make their first change. And will be Georgia Trainer coming on. So Trainer coming on. This is their 20th appearance on the campaign. Coming off the bench as of late, last starting back in round 17. Will be Galluccio, who was cramping up, that will make way. And you can see Galluccio really not all too comfortable. Well, not comfortable whatsoever as she hobbles off. So a necessary change there for Avondale as Trainer enters the fray, looking to help her side defend this 1-goal lead with 15 minutes of regulation remaining plus added time. Westaway fell over as she tried to burst forward. Westland pass around the corner, couldn't find Papatsanis before it was seized upon by Aska Miata. Healthy shove in the back of Keller Knight, but she was able to recover. Goad clears it away, only as far as Wallhead. It was made to pay for her clearance by Wilkinson. Smeltzer gets it to Wallhead, sells a bit of candy before the ball bobbles just as she was playing that pass. Miata to Wilkinson, shielding it from Schmelzer, bundled over. Play on is the call. Westland stood up by Kellen Knight, forced backwards. Michaela Schmelzer playing it across. South Melbourne looking to build. Westaway turning, looking to try to find Alexis Pantazopoulos. Avondale get a boot in. Hurled forward. Bounces through all the way to Accardo. South Melbourne turn it over. It's just so little room to operate now in the Avondale side of the park as the Avengers get numbers back and South Melbourne hurl them forward. Such tight areas. Goad boots it in the Wilkinson direction. Body Schmelzer away from it, but that left her unable to recover as it bounced away and was claimed by Isabella Wallhead. Wallhead asking for options. Eventually gets one in the form of Clancy Westaway. Chronopoulos. Bit of a heavy touch as she turned around the corner. Does the work to win the ball back though. Yamano. First time ball to Papatsanis. Westland. She wants Yamano to make the run. Instead, she's forced to go back central. Clancy Westaway. Schmelzer had to manipulate Wilkinson with her body positioning. Chronopoulos can't be clean with her claim. The ball bounces through and it's jumped on by Brooke Bennett. Appeals for a free kick from Avondale, waved away. Alexis Pantazopoulos from range. In the end, Bennett got her positioning right and had just enough height to reach up and pick that one out of the air. ball will be turned over, and Avondale look to see this game out. Yeah, they say history doesn't repeat, but it does rhyme a little bit. Last time I was here at the Reggio Calabria Club, Avenger Park, just a few weeks ago, Avondale's men's side took a 1-0 lead before their captain was sent off for a straight red card. Bruno Fornaroli on that occasion, not Gulchan Janitsaris, but in that game, 10-player Avondale had to shut up shop, try to defend the 1-goal lead, only for St Albans Dynamo to come back and grab a very late equaliser. Remains to be seen if South Melbourne can emulate that against Avondale's 10-player women's side, absent their skipper. Goad clears the ball down the left flank. Young trying to dig it out. Played in behind for Wilkinson, who's been really starved of proper good service, really, ever since the red card. And that one look on goal early on in the second half, the header that forced a good save from Candy. Meanwhile, South Melbourne, we're going to work the cutback on their left-hand attacking flank. Clancy Westaway. Can she whip a ball in? Wilson's sliding challenge arrived. Goal kick.
Georgia, KK! 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 Swap Ellie and Georgia! Swap Ellie and Georgia!
Not sure if you could pick that up on the microphone, but Coach Del Donnelly screaming out instructions to his players. Ellie Wilson is going to switch with the recently introduced Georgia trainer in their positioning. Well, that's the instruction at least.
Georgia, think about your positioning! Georgia, your positioning!
Westlands battling against Miasa. Schmelzer coming in to provide support. And Schmelzer, who comes up with the ball and sends it across to Emily Collier. Advancing forward with it before laying it off for Alexis Pantazopoulos. Closed down by Trainer. High ball in towards the back peg. Bounces off the instep of Beatty Goad for a corner. Misha Westlands preparing to send in an outswinging right-footed delivery. Players making the runs. High ball over the head of Bennett. Wilkinson with the clearing header. Massively important one. Pantazopoulos out to Papatsanis. And then what was a hopeful, speculative shot slowly sails wide. As we have another change coming, and it will be made by South Melbourne. Heidi Dalton, who scored what was a 91st minute winner off the bench in the return fixture of these two sides early on in the campaign. She'll come on for Francesca Yamano. She's got 6 goals on the campaign, albeit they've come in just 3 games. Her last goal's a hat-trick against Melbourne City.
Yes, yes! Georgia! Georgia! I want her there!
And again, to look for historical allegories, as we talked about the first half, the previous meeting between these two sides at Lakeside. Avondale were leading 1-0 until the 89th minute, when Alana Byrne popped up with an equaliser and then Dalton with a winner. That's a good ball in behind for Veronopoulos, but she's just unable to find the pace to keep it in. certainly pressure accumulating on this back line of Avondale, but for the most part denying South Melbourne that final killer pass or that final proper look on goal that challenges Brooke Bennett. And meanwhile, Sloane Young and Hannah Wilkinson to continue to lurk up top to keep South Melbourne honest. They cannot sell out completely lest they be hit in transition. Another ball in. Brooke Bennett comes out to claim. She takes it to the edge of the box before sending out a booming kick to Wilkinson. What a touch from Hannah Wilkinson before laying it off for Aska Miata. Young makes the run into the penalty area. Sloane Young, what a clever little turn, but just running out of space. So some lovely deft moments of skill from Avondale, but they'll be consigned to history as it comes to North and South Melbourne. Look to recommence that knocking on the goal of Avondale. Their search for an equaliser. Westerway's delivery looking for just the back post run of Heidi Dalton. But the angle's not in South Melbourne's favour. 85 minutes and 30 seconds gone on the scoreboard here at the Reggio Calabria Club. 10-player Avondale remain in the ascendancy, 1-0. They have themselves a free kick. Meanwhile, around the grounds, Burundara continue to lead 1-0 over Alamein. Essendon, they've kicked away against the Bentley Greens. They now lead that one 5-2. And at the Veneto Club, approaching half-time, Box Hill have equalised. That one locked up at 1-1. And that means that on the live ladder, Box Hill are now back atop the table, just the 1 point clear of the Essendon Royals. And Avondale are up into third, ahead of FC Bulleen Lions on goal difference. It's a huge game next week for Avondale and Box Hill. They will face each other. Box Hill hosting Avondale at Wembley Park. Pythagoras' run home, they'll have Avondale, Keilor Park and Melbourne City. So Avondale get themselves a free kick. The Essendon Royals, they'll travel to face Preston, host Heidelberg, and then travel to face South Melbourne. Bulleen, they'll have Burundara, Spring Hills and Alamein. And then Avondale, as mentioned, they'll have Box Hill, Burundara and Spring Hills. So aside from next week's clash between Box Hill and Avondale, the top four won't play each other again this season. So if you're not top of the table coming out of next week, you're going to need other teams to do you a favour. Low ball whipped in, cleared away by Avondale again. No doubt Box Hill, Bulleen and Essendon all hopeful that South Melbourne can do them a solid in the remaining 90 seconds plus stoppage time. And it'll be a late change for Avondale. Cedar Howie coming on, replacing Sloane Young. third senior appearance for Howie on the campaign. Came into the weekend with 18 starts for the 20s. And Miasa coming across to send that one out. Misha Westland, who's assumed the armband with Yamano's withdrawal, trying to get things going quickly. 50 seconds of regulation is all that is left at the Reggio Calabria club. Avondale still holding on to this 1-0 lead, claimed by Elise Keller-Knight's Olympico. Westland to Dalton, stood up by Beattie Goad. Beattie Goad, Keller-Knight, Barrero and Miata on the scene to defend. Wilkinson coming across too. South whip the ball in. Defensive header. Falls to Barrero, who lays it off for Ricardo.
Hey! 3 minutes! KK, easy, 3 minutes!
Again, if you couldn't pick up Coach Donnelly's instructions there, or heads up in this case, 3 minutes of time is being added on to this one. So South Melbourne have sent Michaela Schmelzer forward. Getting a bit of height, a bit of physicality up there. She'll nod it on, but Bennett will be out to claim before anyone wearing white can arrive. Not the worst idea, Schmelzer. Up top, she has 1 goal on the campaign. That was back in round 8, 3-0 win over Alamein. Spent a lot of time absent though, missed rounds 9 through 19. Had a bit of basketball at the University of Milwaukee. Averaged 8.2 points per game in our last season with the Panthers. So has the height to maybe get on the end of a speculative ball into the box, but if it's going to happen, it has to happen quickly. Keller-Knight getting in the road. Westland's header met by Keller-Knight. Another throw in for South Melbourne. Have to get it out of here. Clever turn and then poked forward. Ricardo there to meet it. Falls Miata, who's just able to get it away. Wallhead across to Papatsanis. Collier thought about laying it off, instead sends it to the right. Dalton just lost her footing, lost control of it, and Bennett will extract a few more precious seconds. South Melbourne throw, sent central. Chronopoulos trying to come up with it. Schmelzer claims it. Westaway's delivery, Chronopoulos! Couldn't make rubber contact, and it's cleared away. That was the moment. You have to think it was the moment. And Avondale survive. The roars, the guttural roars of success and celebration as they see off wave after wave of South Melbourne attacks, survive a golden Kiara Chronopoulos opportunity in the last seconds to claim the 3 points, a precious 3 points, and keep their hopes of a top 2 finish, or maybe even a Senol NPL Women's Victoria Premiership alive. Gallant South Melbourne unable to take the 3 points, and their focus turns to their remaining 3 games and doing what they can to secure a finals place. It was Elise Keller-Knight who proved the difference between the two sides. A moment of magic from the veteran and Olympico in the opening half, giving Avondale the lead. They would go on to defend, reduced to 10, thanks to Gulchan Janitsaris' first half red card. But they did what they needed to do, and their thoughts can now turn to a huge clash with Box Hill at Wembley Park next Friday night. You'll be able to catch that game on the NPL Victoria YouTube page, like you'll be able to catch every game of the remainder of this fantastic Senol NPL Women's Victoria regular season, as well as the finals, all live and free there. Make sure you're subscribed. Be a friend, tell a friend, get them subscribed as well for what should be an incredible run home for the 2026 campaign. My name's been Joey Lynch. Thank you ever so much for your company today on that YouTube page. It was an entertaining afternoon at the Reggio Calabria Club, as one last time Avondale FC, though reduced to 10, did enough to secure a 1-0 win over South Melbourne.